Hello, everybody. Better, not bitter. So, I had this thought when I was walking, and speaking of baby boomers, there's a baby boomer floating around on a bicycle. I was thinking about baby boomers, okay? We all dealt with them. If you're 30, 40s, if you're in your 20s, at some point in time, you've come across a baby boomer. And what really brought up this thought was the amount of baby boomers that have been divorced. And my speculation is that a lot of it has to do with a lack of communication. They really are a generation that holds in a lot, don't really speak what's on their mind, and they usually explode. Each party doesn't know what the other party wants, and guess what? Divorce, broken families, and blah, blah, blah. The laundry list continues, right? And you kind of have to give them some grace. And I say that because their parents were the silent generation. So think about that. They were even more quiet, didn't talk about anything, their emotions, very hardcore, very stern. So, I'm not saying in a way that you gotta be all touchy-feely and flowy. No. But it does make a huge difference when you start to realize how to communicate properly to other people, how to hear other people properly, and it's kind of a blessing and a curse. And I say that because when you start going down that rabbit hole, the problem is that you realize how many other people don't know how to communicate with each other, especially older people or baby boomers, like this guy walking next to me. Thank you, sir. Just walking through my frame. So, why does baby boomers and better not bitter, where's the combination there? Well, the thing is, if you have a problem or an issue or a lack in your life where you keep doing the same thing and expect different results, well, you have two options. You get better, or like the saying goes, you get bitter. And a lot of baby boomers are bitter people, unfortunately. Now, I'm not encompassing all baby boomers because I have seen some that, man, they were like the coolest, most down-to-earth people, grounded, they did the work. Congrats to you if you are one of those baby boomers. But I'm bringing this up as an example to younger people of what the outcome can be if you don't get better and you just keep getting bitter. So let me explain the bitter part a little better. Maybe that didn't make a whole lot of sense, but when you have an issue in your life, say communication, and people give you constructive criticism, or someone's just straight up with you and they're like, hey, Jared, you don't hear people out too well or listen to them, and you get emotional when people talk to you, especially if there's something they want to resolve. Now, Jared could take this two different ways. Jared could be like, okay, let me just self-reflect. Okay, I hear you. Maybe it's something I have to improve on. That's the healthy approach. The bitter approach would be, no, that person's a problem. Fuck that person. I'm perfectly fine. They're a wacko. They just, forget them. Forget Bob. Screw Bob. So, that's the beginning phases of being bitter. You're not taking in information from other people or constructive criticism, and you're basically digging your heels deeper into the dirt, saying everything else is the problem, not me. And over time, your view of the world becomes more tunneled, and you become bitter. And you've seen these baby boomers and older people that are very bitter, where they've gone down this path where they bitch and moan about every single thing. Things aren't like what they used to be. This sucks, that sucks, this person, nobody, blah, blah, blah. And they complain about a lot of things. And they're just bitter. Their view of the world is so negative, and they're unhappy. And it's like a wilted flower that's just crunching up, right? It's just dying, and it's just waiting to die, basically. Some of those very bitter people are so bitter that they're like waiting for, they're in death's waiting room, basically. And every day is just more unbearable and suck. So, the better approach would be to hear people. And I'm not saying all constructive criticism, all things that people say are going to be true or whatnot. Because all criticisms, all things come from perspectives, and everyone has their own perspective. But the key difference is to hear people out, to be able to be chill and calm when people say these things to you and give you criticism or just mention things that they notice about you, and not let emotion take over where you just get defensive, angry, and then you start a fight with the other person. If you could really hone in that stoic skill, then you can take in the information they're giving you and say, okay, let me reflect on other parts of my life where maybe I wasn't good at communication. Well, there's this time, that relationship, or that situation, or this time at work where I lost a sale because a lack of communication with the customer or client. And when you can take those moments from your past life, from your past within your life, and you can make a summary on your own volition, then you can be like, okay, that criticism is true. How do I improve it? How do I get better so I don't have this repeat in my life? And that is the key thing, to reflect, say, this is where I'm going to get better, right on, let's move forward, let's improve. And it makes your life so much more better. And if you go down the bitter path, well, just look around at 90% of baby boomers, and that will be you in the future. So, remember to show people grace. Show baby boomers grace, because, you know, they're on their last limb. They're getting older. They got a lot of pains and aches, and they don't have the amount of information that we have access to today. As young people, we have access to way more information than they ever did. So we have to view it in that manner too. We can't just beat other generations down because they didn't know. Because I am certain that if you went back in time and erased all your memories from current modern days and got dropped into the 60s, the 70s, the 1850s, whatever time period, you would likely turn out to be similar to those people, because you worked with what you were dealt with. And that's just natural for people. We work with what we are dealt with, which is a lot of economical ups and downs, which is really shitty. But we were blessed with the internet, and then who knows, the next generation will fully grow up with AI, and who knows what kind of crazy shit will come about with that. And they might view us as savages. So who knows? But show grace to other people. Get better. Don't get bitter. And that's kind of the lesson here. So I hope you guys enjoy. More videos to come. Love you. Take care.